Right now at noon, 4 residents learn about changes coming to Highway 69.
And we've had a few peaks of sun out there for some of us, so that's going to allow a slightly warmer temperature than what we were looking at, but it's still cloudy, still cool. We'll talk about that forecast coming up.
And it's a busy day for Britain's King Charles, the final countdown to the coronation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Southeast Kansas residents gathered to learn more and voice concerns about the expansion and potential relocation of the 69 bypass. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, concerned citizens packed the house at the Crawford County Courthouse this morning to learn about big changes on the way for US 69 highway. KDOT representatives laid out the proposals that have been in the planning stages for more than 2 decades. Among the options, a west bypass and an east route, both that bypass the communities of Pittsburgh and Frontenac. KDOT says one goal is to allow for faster travel through the state. Now, the state projects it will spend $400 million on the project, and several residents, including the Frontenac mayor, spoke against the proposals. One resident even brought concerns of significant population declines in both Parsons and Pleasanton, 2 cities that were bypassed by highway development. We'll have more on the project tonight on the KOAM News at 5. Well, it's a pretty nice day to take a drive outside. Chris Warner joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, it's not been too bad out there. We've still had these mostly cloudy skies, but you can see patches of blue, which has been allowing some sunshine to get through out there, but just not enough to really warm us as much as we were hoping yesterday. So let's take a look. Here's the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line. Looking off to the south, you can see some sunshine here. You can see some of the shadows down further south from the clouds overhead, and of course, plenty of people out on that lunch rush. KDOT camera, 69 and 400, getting a little bit of sunshine, but not that much. Yesterday, we started out at 48, so we're getting closer to normal, but our high did not quite make it there. We only made it up to 67. We should be right around the mid-70s. Temperatures across the area right now look about like this. We got 78 Center Chanute, 67 Parsons Oswego. We're sitting at 69 Pittsburgh, up now to 72 in Joplin, 71 in Carthage. So some of us doing better than what we did yesterday, but still not as warm as we were hoping. Well, here's what we're keeping an eye on, though, as temperatures will begin to warm today, which they're doing so slowly. When we look ahead, we've got a very warm weekend. And if you have been under a rock, away from the TV, out hiking, anywhere where you haven't had access to the forecast, I'm going to tell you exactly what we mean by a very warm weekend. And then we've got scattered storm chances that are going to return to our forecast starting on Sunday. So we're going to take a look at all of that. And of course, if you are out hiking or under a rock, make sure you've got the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can scan that QR code there or go to your favorite app store, download it. That way you've always got the latest weather forecast and current conditions in the palm of your hand. We'll talk more about this warm-up and next week's rain chances here in just a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Chris. The Kentucky Derby suspends trainer Saffie Joseph Jr. after 2 highly unusual racehorse deaths. The decision from Churchill Downs comes after the horses, named Parents' Pride and Chasing Artie, died suddenly from what officials say are unknown causes. That means one of Joseph's other horses, number 19, Lord Miles, is now forced to scratch in tomorrow's Kentucky Derby. Lord Miles was a 30-1 long shot. Now another horse, number 10, Practical Move, also scratched yesterday after spiking a fever. Preparations are kicking into high gear in London as Great Britain gets ready for tomorrow's coronation of King Charles III. Ian Lee reports from London.
King Charles shook hands with supporters lining the mall outside Buckingham Palace to watch the British monarch's coronation tomorrow.
He asked if anybody overnighted and my hair is sticking up, and I said yes, and he leaned over and shook my hand.
The king's son and daughter-in-law, Prince William and Kate, also greeted well-wishers as the excitement for the big event grows.
You're afraid a bit of sunshine stays out, keep you all dry.
Final preparations are well underway. Horses did a practice run parading through the streets Friday while a worker cleaned the steps of the palace entrance.
I had to come to support the new king and And yeah, it's just really exciting.
King Charles will be the 40th monarch crowned here at Westminster Abbey. It's a tradition dating back to William the Conqueror in 1066. For some, this new chapter of the monarchy is taking some time to get used to.
Long live the king. They made that mistake, classic mistake.
Friday, King Charles and other members of the royal family attended a lunch for some of the dignitaries in town for the ceremony. Representing the U.S., First Lady Jill Biden. There will be roughly 2,000 guests for the coronation ceremony. It may sound like a big number, but it's a fraction of the 8,000 plus who attended his mother's coronation in 1953. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
The 74-year-old royal will be crowned alongside his wife, Camilla, the Queen Consort. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, the FAA is attempting to speed up air travel to prevent flight delays as the summer travel season inches closer. And later, in honor of Cinco de Mayo, we're making an enchilada casserole in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. As the busy summer travel season gets closer, the FAA is opening what it calls highways in the sky to speed up air travel. Travelers want to know if America's aviation system can speed up with demand from summer vacationers. Chris Van Cleve is at Los Angeles International Airport, LAX.
The countdown to summer vacation comes with concern over travel turmoil.
I'm on a wing and a prayer.
Sherry Eisenman is so concerned about her 3-week trip to Ireland in June, she's not even checking a bag.
I really believe it's just kind of 50-50. Anyone traveling is taking a chance that they may not get to their destination.
Last summer, more than 45,000 flights were canceled and nearly 1 in 4 was delayed as airlines struggled through bad weather and staffing issues. This year, they insist it will be different.
Bookings are strong, demand is strong.
We're adding buffers into our own schedules to make certain we can deliver for our consumers.
All of our partners really want to make sure this summer goes smoothly.
While the TSA expects potentially record-breaking numbers of passengers at U.S. airports this summer, picketing pilots seeking a new contract warn there could be turbulence ahead.
The summer at American Airlines is as uncertain as it was last year, and last year was not good.
The FAA announced it's opened new highways in the sky by streamlining 169 East Coast routes, saving 6,000 minutes of travel time annually. But air traffic control staffing concerns prompted airlines to reduce summer flights out of New York City.
I'm worried airlines have scheduled more flights than the FAA can handle.
Airline industry analyst Henry Hartevelt.
I think this is going to be a summer of light to moderate turbulence. I'm concerned that if there's just even the slightest ripple of bad weather, the FAA will be asking airlines to delay flights or possibly even cancel flights.
Sherry Eisenman just hopes she makes her connection.
They've already changed it twice, and it keeps getting closer and closer to my departure time to go to Dublin.
Airlines have largely addressed their staffing issues, but the biggest disruptor to summer travel traditionally is the weather. Look for nonstop flights, typically early in the morning. Those have the highest success rates traditionally. And if the airlines warn of bad weather and tell you to change your flight, be proactive and do it early while options are available. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Airfare tracking site Hopper found 76% of flyers are worried about their upcoming trips being disrupted by delays and cancellations. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
For some holidays, you might need to check your calendar to see when they fall. And then there are those that are pretty obvious, like the one we're gearing up for today.
But first, we've got a big weekend warm-up on the way. If you think it's warm now, we'll just wait until tomorrow. And we've got those incoming rain chances. We'll take a look at all of that in your forecast when we come back. Well, we've got ourselves a cloudy and somewhat cool day, but it could be a lot cooler, and so I think some of us are pretty grateful it's not that bad outside, and I know many of us are grateful that we did get some rain yesterday into the overnight, and we were getting a little pause in the rain, but there is more rain on the way for the 4 states. Our camera 7th and range line, it is incredible the difference about 10 minutes can make. Look at how cloudy it is now out there, where earlier we saw a little bit of sunshine, and that has since gone away. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking to the south looks a little bit brighter, but I don't think there's that much more sunshine down there either. We've been holding on to those clouds, but we're getting a little more light here from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at those conditions. We got 71 in Joplin, southeast breeze at 9 under those mostly cloudy skies, and we've had cloudy skies for the most part in Pittsburgh, and we're sitting a little cooler at 69 with a southeast breeze at about 7 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region, they look about like this. We've got some 70s, Yates Center, Chanute, 67 Parsons, Chetopa, 69 Miami, 70 Neosho, and 71 up in Carthage. As we go through the day, because we have seen some sunshine, we're going to warm a little bit more, but we're still looking lower to mid-70s for the most part across the region today with those mostly cloudy skies. And then as we go into the evening, the skies will eventually clear up a little bit and we'll switch to partly cloudy skies, but it's kind of interesting being able to throw the word mild on an overnight low as we're looking at the low to mid 60s tonight. So we don't do a lot of cooling, and that's going to set us up for a very warm day on Saturday. Temperatures already 7 a.m. at 70, 73 by 9, near 80 by 11 o'clock in the morning, whereas 11 o'clock this morning we were sitting in the 60s, and we're looking to climb near 90 degrees tomorrow with those sunny skies. However, we do have the rain chances on the way, so let's skip ahead into Saturday. Saturday, we're looking pretty good. We're going to be sunny. There is, believe it or not, a risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. However, it looks like anything is really going to stay off to our north and east. We could see a stray shower or two, but for the most part, we're looking okay for tomorrow. As we go into Sunday, the majority of our Sunday is good too, quite warm. And then as we head into the evening hours, the afternoon and evening hours, that's when we start to see better chances of showers and thunderstorms. Could be a few in the morning, and they'll pause and they will resume again in the evening. And there is another possibility of some stronger storms as we go into Sunday evening. We go into Monday morning, we start to get a pause in the showers, and then as we head back into the evening, we see additional shower and thunderstorm development possible across the area. That'll last into the overnight into Tuesday morning, and it will pause again, and by Tuesday evening, that's more showers and thunderstorms. And at least for the first few days of next week, that appears to be the trend, is we're going to have warm, muggy afternoons, and then we're going to see thunderstorms develop in the evening, carry into the morning the next day, they clear out, we warm up, it gets muggy again, and then we start to see more showers and thunderstorms. So let's take a look here. So again, near 90 this weekend. It's just absolutely insane, but it is May and it's the 4 states, and by golly, if it's going to be summer, it's going to be summer. We will hang on to the 80s as we go through the majority of next week. We'll start to see upper 70s as we head into next weekend, but we have those pop-up thunderstorm chances every day next week, starting with Sunday evening. So that said, Doug had mentioned this earlier, something that we're keeping an eye on. Because it's going to be warm and muggy in between these, we do have the possibility of strong, maybe severe thunderstorms nearly every day next week. Now, again, we're not talking about a severe weather outbreak, and we're not talking about severe storms every day, but there's the possibility for 1 or 2 of them to be strong, possibly severe. So it's something that we'll keep an eye on, something you just want to keep aware of as well when you've got plans. There might be one of these storms that tries to get a little out of hand. But otherwise, much needed rain, warm weather, and those overnight lows in the 60s.
Is that concern with the possibility of thunderstorms because those temperatures are so much higher?
That's one of the things that's going to allow us to warm up in between the storms. It's going to get muggy. It's going to be that kind of spring-summer setup where we get those stronger storm chances.
I tell you what, though, when it rained yesterday, the temperatures came down and it was beautiful.
It was pleasant.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, it is Cinco de Mayo today, so stick around. We're making an enchilada casserole after the break. Looking for a tasty way to celebrate all your favorite Mexican flavors this Cinco de Mayo? Well, Howard shows us how to make an enchilada casserole in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
With some holidays, you might need to check your calendar to see when they fall each year, while others you don't. Christmas is always December 25th. New Year's Day is always January 1st. And Cinco de Mayo, well, that's simply Spanish for the 5th of May. And to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, we came up with a one-dish wonder that's quick to throw together and is super tasty. We begin by sauteing some ground beef with a chopped onion until no pink remains. To that, we add a couple cans of tomato sauce, some fiesta-style corn, a can of enchilada sauce, a bit of chili powder, ground cumin, and some salt and pepper. While that simmers, we place 6 corn tortilla shells in the bottom of a baking dish. Now we top those with half of the meat mixture and sprinkle on some shredded cheddar cheese. We layer everything one more time and pop it in the oven. It's sort of like building a lasagna. Serve this up with an icy margarita and let the festivities begin. With every bite, you get layer after layer of everything you love about an enchilada, but with the ease of a casserole. To get the recipe for our enchilada casserole, simply visit our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an all-in-one tasty way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
All right, we've got ourselves going into the low to mid 70s today, near 90 through the weekend. And then we've got those thunderstorm chances every day next week through next weekend. And so much needed rain on the way yet again. And we're also going to stay quite warm. Temperatures 80s, overnight lows in the 60s, so quite mild. And as we mentioned, there's a possibility of a strong storm or two each day next week. It's not saying severe weather every day, but just keep it on your radar and we'll track it on ours.
Wish we could like copy and paste today. Yeah.
Yeah, today's not too bad. I want a little more sunshine, but today's not too bad. But again, we need that rain, so
true that.
We got to get it.
All right. Thanks.
What's coming up at 5?
Well, coming up tonight at 5, after 3 years, the national COVID public health emergency is officially ending. In Health Watch, what that means and why doctors say this does not signal that COVID is over. Plus, we'll have more from this morning's packed Crawford County Commissioners meeting, where many residents expressed opinions on the 69 bypass. And Carthage career development students have been working to research and educate themselves on possible career paths. Today, they put their hard work to the test with a reverse career fair. Join us for those stories and much more tonight on the KOAM News at 5.
Certainly sounds interesting. Thanks for joining us for the KOAM News at noon.
The rest of the team will see you right back here at 5 o'clock.